doing the gray rock, basically, like John likes to say, is you are being as dull as a rock on the ground. Who in the world would argue with a rock?
Right. You remember, and that's a great point, because if you can remember that when they're going after you, when they're trying to push your buttons, when they're trying to trigger you, remember, you can't argue with a rock. Welcome to the Victim to Warrior Show.
Warrior Talk. And this is our second episode. We're John and Melissa, and we are survivors of narcissistic abuse, and our mission is to help other survivors reclaim and rebuild their lives.
On this podcast, we're going to talk about Gray Rock Method. What is the Gray Rock Method, and when to use it, and when not to use it?
Now, the Gray Rock Method is a coping mechanism. It is not a cure for the relationship to get better. It's not a cure for the narcissist. It's not a fix. It's a way for you as the victim to retain your sanity during an abusive relationship. This is what you would use in order to decide whether or not you want to continue your life in this abusive relationship, or you want to plan a safe exit strategy to leave it. It will not fix the relationship.
Right.
And if your partner is a narcissist, it will not change. It will only get worse.
Right. I know you always tell your clients this is a short-term tactic.
Yes.
It's not a long-term fix.
Right.
So, in your experience when you were in your narcissistic abusive relationship, which was horrible, guys, if you knew the whole story, when did you ever use the Gray Rock Method in an advantage that really helped you?
He would bait me, okay? So if you don't know what baiting means, it literally means trying to trip you up into a situation when you're trying to remain composed, you're trying to keep your emotions intact, and they just keep chipping away at things they know are going to upset you.
Well, they know your buttons. They
do.
Absolutely do.
Oh
right?
my God, they know how to pour salt in your wounds, big time.
Right.
So he would bait me on things, and I would really try to hold that temper in. Sometimes it would get the best of me, but when I started understanding the Gray Rock Method,
Right.
I started basically ignoring what he was saying. I would answer him with one-word answers, a nod, maybe just a look, a shrug. So when he kept on and on, I would just say, okay, or no, or I'm not going to deal with this right now, and I would just walk away. Now, they will continue to try to bait you,
right.
So you have to remember in your mind what they're trying to do. They are trying to get an emotional rush out of you. It's how they feed their being, because they can't really produce their own emotions. They have to suck them out of you. So you have to recognize what they're trying to do. And when you're doing the Gray Rock, basically, like John likes to say, is you are being as dull as a rock on the ground. Who in the world would argue with a rock?
Right. You remember, and that's a great point, because if you can remember that when they're going after you, when they're trying to push your buttons, when they're trying to trigger you, remember, you can't argue with a rock.
Absolutely.
Think about if you had a rock in front of you and you're yelling at the rock, you're getting no response.
No.
So try to envision that when you're using the Gray Rock Method, you're just being a rock.
Yeah.
You're just being very non-committal, non-emotional,
You're
and unresponsible.
And uninteresting, too.
Right.
The whole thing about a narcissist is they want to provoke you.
Right.
They want that. So if you become uninteresting to them and they're not going to get that reaction out of you, they are going to eventually give up. Now, I'm not saying that they won't come back at you. That's why this is just a very short-term coping mechanism only, just so you can keep your sanity, you can start thinking clearly, and you can make an educated decision as to whether or not you're willing to live your life like this, or much worse, or you're ready to plan how to get out.
Well, let's talk about this. Well, let's talk about this real quick. To see what the Gray Rock Method looks like in action, Melissa and I put together a series of videos. It's different examples of how to use the Gray Rock in different environments.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of see for yourself what it looks like, and maybe it'll give you some examples or some ideas of how to use it yourself. So I'm going to put the link below in the description. It's on our TikTok channel. And when you get to our TikTok channel, right below our profile, you'll see playlist. And you'll just go through there and you'll see Gray Rock Method series. Now, this series of 4 videos has had over 10 million views.
Just on TikTok
Right,
alone.
just on TikTok alone. So it's extremely powerful what you're able to see from these. So please check out those 3 videos and you'll be like, wow, oh, I didn't know I could use it there. Or that's a great idea. I'll try that.
Oh, that's exactly how he baits me. That's exactly how
Right.
she baits me.
Right. So I would really, really hope that those examples give you a better understanding of what the Gray Rock Method is. Okay, now, Melissa, you just talked about it's a short term.
Yes.
It's a short term.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about when to use it and when not to use it. But please know it's a short term. It's not a long term fix. Now, we're going to talk about something after we get through with Gray Rock where we want to help you if you decide you want to leave. How do you do that? Okay, so just hold on for a few minutes. Let's get through this Gray Rock, and then we're going to talk about if you decide you want to leave, how do you do that? So let's talk about when are the best times to use Gray Rock, and then when is it not appropriate to use Gray Rock?
If your abuser is prone to violence, this may provoke them.
Right.
So we want to put that warning out there. Narcissists can be violent or they don't have to be violent, but they're still very dangerous mentally, physically, emotionally, financially.
Right.
So when you are using this coping mechanism for yourself to keep calm inside, to not allow them to provoke an emotional outburst from you, that is when you use it. If they are prone to violence, you are going to have to make that judgment, because if they are reactionary and they're violent, this may not be a method that you want to use. Honestly, that is a relationship you've got to get out of. But we'll cover that in future podcasts. But that's when not to use the Gray Rock, and not to use it as a long-term method. I have clients that have used the Gray Rock method for like 2 years. Can you imagine being a rock in your relationship for 2 years? That's not healthy. This is a short-term coping mechanism. The long-term goal is to get out. So John, if you're still in it, you do have resources for you.
If you're still in it and you just don't know what to do at this point, there's a lot of anxiety with leaving an abusive relationship. I mean, we've all been there. We understand exactly what that
and
is.
your head's all over the
So
place.
what Melissa and I did is we put together the same critical steps that we used and what we coach our clients on how to leave. And we call it the 12 critical steps to take before you leave. Now, we recorded an entire webinar to coach you through this list because it's a significant list. And there's a lot of things that need to be done.
And
so,
it's planning.
Right. And I always say, look, think about the day before you leave on vacation. You've got your list. It brings the anxiety level down. You're like, look, I got to get my bags out of the basement. I've got to pack my bags. I've got to get my dry clean and put the dogs in the kennel. I need to get my passport. I need to know what time I need to leave for the airport. The whole thing. So this is the exact same thing. It teaches you exactly what you have to do step by step before you leave.
And before you say you're going to leave.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. That was my mistake.
Most of our mistakes.
Yeah, most of our mistake. What I did before I was ready is I told my abuser that I think we need to get a divorce. I'm going to go ahead and file for a divorce. That was the worst thing because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have everything in order, credit cards, my emergency fund. I didn't have all the things.
Credit frozen.
My credit frozen, all the things that you need to do before you leave, before you say you're going to leave.
Right.
And then guess what happened? I came home from work one day and my house was completely empty.
And she used his credit cards to move everything
to pay for the movers,
I don't mean
thousands
to
of
laugh,
dollars.
but that is really sad.
It was horrible. It was just horrible. To come home to a completely vacant house. Now, that was my fault because I told her what I was going to do.
He gave her his playbook.
Right.
You never give that to the enemy team. Ever.
And guess what else started when I mentioned that? She told everybody that I was physically abusing her, which is a horrible thing to go through for a man. But what happens is then your support group distances themselves from you.
Yeah.
So you don't have people to talk to and confide in and all that. So
and you're in an emotional tizzy,
Right.
so you're not thinking clearly in order to make that list
Right.
of what you should
Right.
do
Right.
before you leave.
Right. So it's just got some great ideas on there, like checking for tracking devices on your phone in your car so that when you
Yes.
leave, you can leave safely. But the really important thing about this list is that it puts you in a good place so that when you do leave, you don't have to go back.
Yeah.
And that's what happens over 50% of the time when people leave. They end up having to go back because they weren't prepared.
Right.
They didn't have their ducks in a row so that they
And
have
then
to
they
go
get
back. And then
financially desperate
Yeah.
to go back because they haven't done the financial steps that are in the 12 critical
Right,
steps.
so it gets really desperate at that point because your abuser is even more controlling and it is even harder to leave the next time. So you want to make sure you're leaving. So check out, I'm going to put the link below for the 12 critical steps to take before you leave webinar. It's on our website, v2w.com, and I'll put that link below too. So let's get to a couple of questions because I love y'all's participation
Yeah,
in
we
our
got questions
podcast.
from the last.
Yeah,
last
we
one.
have questions. So I want to go through a couple of questions, and I know the questions that I selected from all the ones that we received are going to be a benefit to all of you.
Yeah.
So please don't sign off right now.
Yeah, no.
Listen to these because I think they're going to be a benefit for no matter where you are in your journey.
Yeah.
Whether you're still in the relationship and you're still in the abusive relationship, whether
You're in the middle of a divorce,
and
legal
trying to
battle.
get out,
Yeah.
you're co-parenting, all those horrible things that you have to go through when you're in that war.
Yep.
And then if you're in recovery from the abuse and just
kinda
don't know what to
stuck.
do and don't and this is going to help you get unstuck. So I've got 3 questions here and they're both very pertinent to no matter where you are in here. So let's just talk
Even
about
though he
those.
said 3 questions.
Yeah.
Both.
Okay. Oh, did I say okay?
You did.
All right.
I just love him.
Okay. And I love you too, baby. Sometimes more than others.
Okay.
So, how do I not beat myself up for not being farther along in regaining my life back? Now, this person has left her abusive relationship. She's already been through the divorce. She's been a client of ours for a long, long time.
Yep.
And we love her.
Yes.
She is really despondent because she can't move forward. Now, she's recently become one of our clients in our 8-week life transformational method, and things are changing for her.
Yeah.
She has daily action steps. So that's the important thing for you if you're in recovery and you're stuck is you don't have daily action steps that
Right.
you're taking.
To change the
Right.
way your brain thinks, because when you've planned to leave, you've left. It is an emotional roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing your brain knows is the abuse it suffered. So you keep reliving it, reliving the shame, the guilt, the fear, the heartbreak. All of these things are just bouncing around in your head because your brain doesn't know how to break free from what it's been doing, the fight or flight, for Lord knows how long. So the steps that we talk about, starting small, and I'm going to let John talk about how to start your morning because
Right.
you're in control of at least 30 minutes to 1 hour of your day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's very important.
Let's talk about this a little bit because I had a lot of regret. I had a ton of regret because I felt like I was like, look, I'm a pretty smart guy. How did I allow myself to be so manipulated? And it took me several years to really to recover from the regrets. And let me tell you, Melissa and I were talking about as we were preparing for this podcast. We started laughing because one of the red flags that I ignored, and there were a lot of them. This red flag was so big. It was like, have you ever been to one of those RV sales places and they have these massive American flags?
They're as big as the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was this red flag. And I totally ignored it.
He
So-
went through it. He
yeah.
lifted it up and went underneath
So if
it.
you've ignored red flags, please join the club because we all have. We all did. All right. This red flag was I was asked to go to couples counseling. Okay.
Marriage
The red
counseling.
flag is we weren't married yet. If you have to go to couples counseling before you're even married, that's a massive red flag.
Yeah.
And I charged right through it.
Yeah.
And I regret that
To this day.
to this day. So if you're struggling with recovering, we have
Because of regret, shame,
yeah,
like we talked
and all
about.
of these things. That's so understandable. One of the things that really helped me get through that was getting into a support group. That was massive because your friends and family, they just don't understand what you're going through because they've not been there.
Right. And they get tired of listening.
Yeah, even a lot of therapists, they don't get it. They think, well, let's talk about...
If they haven't lived through it.
Yeah, if they haven't lived through it.
Yeah.
You know, they want to talk about your childhood or, how were your parents or whatever. They don't understand what it was like going through an abusive relationship. A lot of them don't, like Melissa said.
Narcissistic abusive,
So
for sure.
that's why, we love our 8-week life transformational method. It's an 8-week course. You're going to recover. Is it going to take years, or can we get it down to a couple of months? And that's what we want to do for you. Also, Melissa is so amazing as a coach and can help you get through this quicker too. Well, we both are, but Melissa's phenomenal. I love hearing her testimonials from her clients. She does such a great job. We're going to put her link down below too if you need help with that. But let's get to this next question because, I think that was what we're talking about with the first hour.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how do I get consistent, get better at not letting myself be sidetracked and make myself a priority? How are you and John able to do that? Well, we still do this to this day.
Yeah.
Okay? It's about owning the first hour of your day. If you can own the first hour of your day,
that's a win.
It's yours. It's not anybody else's. If you have to get up a little bit earlier so that you have that 1 hour of quiet and peace, let's talk about that first hour. That's going to change your day. I call this stacking wins. Okay? And that first hour, don't hit that snooze button and lay in bed and hit the snooze and hit the snooze.
It's so bad for your brain.
It's so bad. But a lot of times when we're depressed and we just don't want to face the day, we do that.
Yep.
So we've already got an L for the day, which is a loss. We don't want to do that. Get out of bed. First thing, drink a big old glass of water. And now we're going to put
before any other beverage.
Yeah, before coffee or anything like that. And also, another thing, don't lay in bed and scroll through social media or look at your email.
Don't even look.
Get out of bed, turn your phone upside down, and go get a bunch of water. Because your body is dehydrated from the night before. A full night's sleep, your body's dehydrated. So you want to drink 24 ounces of water. Now we're gonna recommend a couple of things that you can add to your water
to make it. If you hate water,
to make it taste a little bit better, but it's called a hydration multiplier, which makes so you don't have to drink quite as much water to get the same benefits.
And it has electrolytes in it.
Right. So we'll put a link to that below as well. But and then you go into meditation, a quiet place, a room where you can just be yourself and meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. It's a great way to start the day.
And you could use any type of meditation. Right. People think meditation is just
you just have to sit there and quiet. It's not that way.
It can be positive affirmations. It could be prayer. It could be calming music. Meditation is all about gaining control of your mind and your wandering thoughts, because our thoughts go all over the place. Right. So when John's talking about turning that phone upside down and not scrolling, nothing up, don't even look at your phone, because you will immediately become distracted with all the noise and nonsense that's going on the internet. That's what it's for. It's to get you distracted. So not being distracted is huge. Right. And that meditation is your way of owning your mind. Right. Basically keeping your mind basically in your control, whether you have to say mantras over and over again. So it is not wandering. When it wanders, there's ways to bring it right back to the present moment. Right.
And there's some great meditation, guided meditation right here on YouTube.
Oh, okay? Yes.
And so, and then we want to go into prayer if you're religious. If you're not, let's go into some gratitude. Just being thankful and affirmations for the day before, what happened, grateful for your home or your family or your health or breathing.
Being able to do the meditation.
Right. So those are huge things. So we're going right into that, and then we're going to go into journaling. Now we coach all these things in our 8-week life transformation. If you don't know how to do these things, we're going to hold your hand through that. So don't worry about that.
Daily intentional steps. Right. That we mean holding hands. We don't mean, oh, here's the program, just go do it. It is daily actionable steps, intentional steps. That's how you change the way your mind, body, and soul connect.
So think about that first hour. You've just stacked 4 wins in a row. You got right out of bed and got that water. You went into meditation. You went into prayer or affirmations, and then you went into journaling. I know it sounds like a lot if it's not part of your routine and it's not a habit yet. But just try to start stacking wins in that first hour, and it will change your entire day. It'll change your entire outlook. Now, let's get to one more question.
Oh, well, let me just finish this on journaling, because so many people think journaling is you've got to sit there and just try to write your thoughts out and stuff. So our client right here, what I asked her to do, because she was struggling, and our program does have journaling prompts and things like that, and it just takes time, just like meditation. Right. I told her to start writing out her dream destination vacation. Where is it? Day one. Where is this dream destination vacation that you've never been able to take with the abusive partner? And it's someplace that you would absolutely just love to go. That is your first journal. Write it down. Day
what a
two.
Vision.
Yes, day two, write about when you're going to go and what are you going to see that first day. These are things that your brain is now looking at going, wow, that's an amazing vision for me. Day
it's
two.
Possible.
Yes. What are we going to eat? Are you going to be on a tour? Where are you going to go? Those are the things your brain is going to start looking forward to what you are telling it about your dream vacation. And do that just for 7 days. By the end of 7 days, you have your entire vacation planned out, and it is one of your goals that you will absolutely achieve.
That's hugely powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
And it's positive because a lot of people think journaling is just negative. You do need to purge stuff, but sometimes it just, when you're trying to gain control of your mind, body, and soul, it's difficult to write a bunch of negative things out. You do need to purge those things, but taking something positive to motivate yourself, motivate your brain is hugely powerful. So that's something you can try if you haven't journaled before and you're kind of struggling with it.
Right.
So.
Okay, let's get to this last question real quick.
Okay.
How do I reclaim my health back?
Oh,
good
one.
Abuse causes so many negative
physical
and mental side effects. So let's get to this. I think this is so important. If you're still in it, if you're trying to get out, or if you're out, you've suffered.
Yeah, your health has suffered.
So let's talk about that. What recommendations do you have for short-term and long-term?
Yeah.
Okay. I love this question because I am a fitness and nutrition fanatic. I love
thank goodness
talking to people about I have to lay out.
I would be the one laying in the bed doing nothing.
Yeah. I just
my motivator.
If you're prioritizing that first hour and you're really important, you got to get 8 hours of sleep. Yeah. If you're struggling trying to get those 8 hours of sleep every night. And so there's so many things that we talk about in our 8-week life transformation method about sleeping. But real quickly for this podcast, let's talk about that. You got to get to sleep early every night. It's got to be a dark room. It's got to be quiet. But if you're struggling with sleep still, you still have thoughts you can't get past, you might need a little bit of help sleeping. And that's okay. Most humans do. We just have a lot. Yeah. And so what Melissa and I do and recommend, it's not pharmaceuticals. We do not want to talk about pharmaceuticals, getting addicted to sleep aids. That is not the way to go.
I've been there, done that, broke it.
Right.
All natural now.
We love a healthy sleep aid. Yep. And I take this, we both take this every night from Healthy Cell. It's called REM Sleep.
And it's liquid.
It's liquid. You just drink it half hour before bedtime. And it's got nutrients in there and things that will help you go to sleep quicker, and then go into a deeper sleep for a longer period of time. And so I love this from Healthy Cell. We're going to put the link below.
The ingredients stay in your body. It's not just sleep aid. There's zinc and there's magnesium. Yeah. All these things that are good for your body and start repairing your body overnight.
While you're sleeping. Great thing also. And then trying to focus more on the nutrition and the food that you're putting in your body. It's so important because you've got to put the right things in your body to help your body fight the negative side effects of the abuse. Okay, and we also want to talk about getting more physically fit every day too, and we can talk about that more in future podcasts. But one of the things I want to talk to you about today is nutrition. Okay, because we can't get everything, or it's hard to get everything that our body needs, especially
we live in rat race, fast, running around
from our diet.
Stuff.
So it's very, very hard. Here's what I do every single day. It's another Healthy Cell product. I just love these because they're liquid. So your body absorbs them more, 150% more than in pills. Okay. So this is called, I grabbed REM Sleep again. This is bioactive. Okay. This is like taking 14 pills. Everything your body needs through the day.
Can you imagine taking 14
vitamin
pills?
B,
That's why most
C,
people don't
D,
take it.
Right. It's got everything your body needs. And we did a whole video on this, but please look at the link below. We're not trying to be selly here, whatever.
These are just
I just
things
want
that we
to
do to
recommend
stay healthy.
things to you that we use to stay healthy. We're living our best lives right now, and we've tried so many different things.
And we're old.
And we stop, babe. And we love this. So please try Bioactive by Healthy Cell. I'm going to put the link in below. With our discount code, you get 20% off your purchase when you use Warrior 20 when you purchase these. And they have so many other great products: joint mobility, eye hair, and
hair,
nails,
skin, collagen,
and immune support, because
Oh
a
my
lot of
gosh.
people get sick a
like
lot.
one of our clients said her immune system's really
Right.
suffering. They do have a great product for building your immune system back up.
Right. So they really do. So they've got so many great products. So we love Healthy Cell, and we recommend it to all our clients just because it's something that we use every single
and
day
have used for
and that
years.
we love. Okay,
So-
so let's talk about the next podcast, the upcoming podcast. So if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, we're
Please.
trying so hard to build this. So please subscribe so you get notified. We're going to do a podcast every single week. And every week we're going to talk about a certain topic.
And
We're
it's
gonna try to
things
do
that
a deep
you guys talk about that you want to hear.
Right.
So in the comments, let us know what you thought about our podcast. Let us know what you want us to talk
Right.
about, issues that you're dealing with. That's how we get a lot of our information out to our followers, is because of what people want to know more about.
Right.
And that's what we want to bring
Yeah,
to you.
we're here for you.
Yeah.
So we want to know what you want to hear from us.
Yeah.
And also, so please subscribe. And if you liked this podcast, please give us a thumbs up. We really help.
we'd love
That's
that.
going to help us with the algorithms and get this message out to more people. Last thing, please check out our website.
Oh, yeah.
We are so proud of our website. We worked really hard on it, and it has so much great information on it, and so many great resources, no matter where you are on the journey. And I'm going to put that link in the description below as well. And it's v2w.com. If you Google Victim to Warrior, all our social media channels will come up. Please follow us there. But also, please check out our website. We are so proud of it, and we hope it's going to be beneficial to you and your journey.
And I did want to let people know, if you have any questions, or if you want to know more details about the Grey Rock Method, just email us at info@thev2w.com. That's info@thev2w.com, so we can provide you with additional information.
We'll put that link there. And if you want your question answered on an upcoming podcast, please send your question or questions to questions@thev2w.com. We'll put that link in the description as well below. And we just want to thank you so much for watching this podcast. We hope you found it informative and helpful. And just remember, we are here for you.
Yes.
And so
Stay safe,
Yeah.
and we'll see you on episode 3.
look forward to seeing you soon.